channel, though. I'm super confused.
Right.
I am live.
Nothing.
Tell me that it's working. It still says offline.
It says offline.
I'm
Oh,
using...
it went live. You're live.
Oh, excellent! I wonder how come it's not live for me.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Wait, there it is.
There it is. Okay. Me.
La 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 la.
And so we begin again.
Dun.
Dun dun. All right. So, hello and wait. Where's the singing? I'm sorry. Myth, hit it. I think
this reminds me. Last night, my family was visiting, right?
Mm-hmm.
My sister, my mother. My mother loves the Lawrence Welk show. I'm not going to pick on her or anything, but we watched half an hour of the show for her last night. I don't think those people could sing, and you guys kind of reminded me of them.
It reminds you of the Lawrence Welk show.
There you go.
Well, we were waiting for you to tell us the stuff.
I know, right?
Oh.
Well, from my point of view, we totally nailed it. Like, it's pretty much a verbatim copy of the DDOCast intro. So, welcome to the DDOCast, guys. Hello. We are on episode 472. It's recorded live on May 7th, 2017. Guess what? We're not Patrick. We are the Damsels of DDO. We are Lessa Sabjade and the one and only Mythery Inferno. We're your guest hosts for this week because Patrick is out, as we said before, having his special alone time. So, we're not going to disturb him. He's like on a mountaintop somewhere meditating. Ah!
Really? I don't picture that.
You don't? You don't picture Patrick
out in the small
with
corner
his
of
red
the
hair waving in the wind?
His navel.
He is. He is. That's what he's doing this week. So, this week's screenshot. Damascus. This week's screenshot comes from Damascus tries to crack the code, barring entry into an ancient giantess civilization in our 315th DDO screenshot of the week. Wish I could show it to you here live. You're going to have to watch the replay to see it. It looks really cool. I can't tell where he is, though, in that picture. Saba probably knows because she knows everything.
No, I don't know everything.
It sounds like there were 314 other screenshots this week.
Just this week alone.
Yeah.
This one's pretty good.
DDO screenshot of the week.
Yes, it's the 315th one that we looked at and we were tired, so we stopped. That was it. All right. We like to talk about Dungeons & Dragons online nearly every weekend. You can watch us through Twitch, YouTube, the DDO forums, iTunes, or from our website at DDOcast.com. DDOcast is hosted by CyberEars, the awesome podcast hosting network. Shows are usually available within a few days of recording. The next show will probably be whenever Patrick gets around to doing it. You can stay updated by following us on our social media pages or our website at DDOcast.com with our calendar. Patrick's so cool that way. He does all these techie things, and he makes calendars, and he makes magic happen online. That's all I have to say. Not that you don't, Myth. You do good. You're good. She's gonna
I have a website.
I have a website. That's how innocent she is. She's like, instead of getting mad, she's like, I have a website.
Oh, now
I do internet.
I'm the president.
I'm the president. On the podcast this week, we have a lot of email, apparently. We'll get to that in a little bit, but we're going to talk about the news first. Did we do this last night? Did we do game news on our... We don't really do game news. We just do things that Saba is interested in. We call it rumors, news, and lies. But this is actual news. So, you want to go over this?
Some of it's the same stuff we did last night, though, because I do game news, too. Right?
Yeah.
So, changes to the DDO store. We talked about it last night, but I'll talk about it again. Cordovan wrote. What did he write? Let me get to
Cordovan
it.
wrote something.
Wrote something. He thanked everybody for the feedback about the game, the store going into the Chronicle instead of having its own page on DDO.com. But he said it took a fairly significant amount of someone's time, and since they're focusing on the Chronicle, they decided to consolidate the work rather than duplicate it. And I thought See Through the Ego had a pretty good, valid point when he says that he can understand all that. But not everybody goes to the forums, so they don't even see the Chronicle.
Right.
But everybody wants to look at the free product of the week. So if you marry the two together, right?
Yeah.
Do you not like this idea?
I liked having. I used to go to the DDO store page every week, a couple times. Yeah.
Well, now you're gonna have to go to the Chronicle.
Well, I also go to the Chronicle, but okay, I was going to mention this later, but down under store news sales, the DDO store is helping you master your build. Get 20% off, and it says select classes, Supreme Tome and Ability Potions, alignment changes, PRR, MRR potions, and more now through May 11th. Well, I would like it spelled out a little more than and more. I don't want to go to the DDO store to find out what's on sale, because the DDO store really is a little clunky. Right? Because you have this long list that you have to scroll through. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents.
I thought that Ann Moore was a little bit ambiguous. I thought you put that in there.
I did not.
So that
was from the Chronicle page.
Oh, yes. Yikes.
Yeah.
If you want to know what Ann Moore means, now you're going to have to go looking for it. That's not good.
Oh,
I
and
wonder how many
13.
Ann Moores there are.
I don't know. Yeah,
exactly.
Is it just the one?
Yeah, like 2 things.
Yep.
Technical 13 makes a point that there are too many weeks. I don't know about too many weeks, but there are weeks without Chronicles.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awkward. What are they going to do if there's a week without a Chronicle?
Maybe there will never be a week without a Chronicle anymore.
Ah, you can never skip. In the end,
Correct.
there can be only one.
Exactly.
All right.
The next thing in DDO news, game news, is Cordovan wrote that the entire current council, that was from last year, has been removed, and some people will be re-invited. They're going to start fresh. No one has been elected for the new council yet, and he's going to start working on that. And he said he was going to start working on that on Friday.
He's a busy
know.
man.
That seems to be a holiday, right?
Look at this list. Look at all he's doing. He's got the Ann Moore to worry about.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
So, we'll get there when we get there. We'll be all right.
I did think he put at the end, we did put it in the game launcher and social media for this reason, that some people miss things, as a lot of people don't watch the forums. And there was an interesting response to that by somebody else who said, and a lot of people do watch the forums. Excuses are like, well, we all know that one. No reason to not post it in the forums other than sheer laziness. I don't know about sheer laziness, but I thought that was kind of mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's typical. You mean that you thought it was kind of typical of every forums poster everywhere?
There we go.
Yep.
Tech 13 says he's talked to Cordovan about that. It's likely there will still be weeks with no Chronicles. It's a point he actually raised because he was not 100% happy with this change either. So there's got to be another way to tell us about it. Even if they put it on the front page of the store, not 100%. I mean, do it like they did it on the website, saying this is what's on sale and spell everything out. This is what the bonus days are and that kind of stuff. That would be better than what we have. Oh, yeah. Tech 13 also says too many people don't like going to the forums due to the trollish nature.
The trollish nature of the forums. You might get some on you.
Yep.
Yes, you will. You will. Scary.
Patrick has a spot here for bugs, but does the game have bugs?
I don't think it does. What's a bug?
Well, spiders.
Yeah, so it does have bugs in that sense.
Okay.
Spiders, scorpions. We need maybe add some more bugs. Maybe some ants.
Big bugs.
Yeah, big giant bugs. So put that on the list. Add some bugs.
Add some bugs. Got it.
Mhm.
And then also he has PSAs. I don't think we have those either. So we'll go on to bonus days. DDO bonus days brings you a double mysterious remnants boost, double the chance for remnants to appear now through May 7th. Or is it the 8th as listed in the Chronicle? Because remember last night I said it goes through tomorrow, and is tomorrow a holiday somewhere because it usually ends on a Sunday?
Yeah.
Well, Cordovan has it in the forums that it ends on the 7th. On the Chronicle it says the 8th.
Well,
Oh,
maybe.
Tech
they're
13,
both
we were
right.
kidding. All right, we're going to get serious about bugs here. Tech 13 says, if you want to know about bugs, and he gives us a URL for a decent bugs list.
we do know there are bugs. We just sort of ignore them.
You do realize Patrick's not here, right?
I know, right? They mean nothing to me.
Before I go on and read the Chronicle, because that's what Patrick does, I'll tell you the freebie of the week is a Bell of Opening. And to get this Bell of Opening, just type in Open Sesame in the coupon code area.
You're saying that wrong. It's Open Sesame. God, what's wrong with you? Alibaba and the 40 thieves would never say Open Sesame. They would see it's Open Sesame.
Well,
That does sound more manly.
I sit down right now. That's a website, guys. Check it out. I sit down right now.
Explain
Oh my God.
You have to explain that lesson.
This was when we were doing the Red Eye Static Group, and the somebody was telling me to go to this website, and then they typed it out, and it's apparently Is It Down Right Now, and it's apparently tracks all these games to see if they're, make sure they're running, and I read it out as I sit down right now. So then later on, Saba drops this massive bomb, and she goes, well, according to the website, I sit down right now. Everything is fine. That was a pretty good one.
Sit down. So when I was reading the Open Sesame, I was thinking, why are they talking about sesame seeds? I don't like them, but... All right, so DDO Chronicle issue 232. I mentioned this last night, but the character planner has been updated with some bug fixes. There's a URL to click to get to it. And notes to strike a chord ranks the dances. And click something for the list. If you want to nominate a player, email contact@standingstonegames.com with the subject line Player Spotlight. Guildhall. Spellbinders are a Cannith-based guild with global membership who are looking for team players at all levels. Click here to check out their guild website. Email contact@standingstonegames.com with the subject line Guildhall to get your guild featured. And the comment of the week is, what is the ideal dungeon master to you? We talked about this last night, so we're not going to repeat it. But if you want to.
Somebody who could do all the voices, I think that's what we came up with.
Okay, so if you do want to comment, go to the Chronicle, click on that comment on the DDO forums here, and you can win DDO points, and you can win DDO points if you're chosen. And they just choose at random, so all you have to do is put any kind of answer in there, and Cordovan just chooses at random people. Fansite news. DDO Players News is joined by Lessa and Mithri to talk about the latest happenings in DDO. DDOcast reviews update 35. And what, Myth?
I don't see any of this in the show notes.
I have a URL.
It's on the Chronicle.
Yeah.
Okay. It's on the Chronicle.
Mickey gets you flagged
we really
for follow
were on
through.
the DDOcast news or
You were.
whatever, the DDO Players news.
Players.
Yeah,
Yep.
we really were. It's not a rumor.
Erdrick gets his first Mysterious Remnants Award. I wonder what he chose. There's a link that you can click to find out. The House of Grouse gets into racial reincarnation. There's a blog about it. Even and the Flower Sniffers tackle VOM 5 and more. And then we go on to Let's Talk Shop. Update 35 patch 4 has been released. And just a little tweaks here and there, so not a biggie. Several responded to a player asking for a bit of info on future plans, and that's what I read last night on the Damsels. But he talks about Ravenloft, possibly doing stuff in the Underdark. So if you're interested in future plans for DDO, click on that link there. Cordovan does some Q&A and heads to Wayloon in the latest weekly Wednesday lunchtime live stream. And you can follow Standing Stone Games on Twitter and Facebook. Facebook?
What?
People still do that?
Yeah, people do that.
Facebook.
Wow. All right, you already talked about the screenshot of the week, but if you want to learn how to get your screenshot to be the next screenshot of the week, there's a link for you to click on. And in the news, I already read that.
16.
Yes, exactly. So that is it for the Chronicle for this week.
All right, so now we move on to DDOcast news? Question mark, question mark, question mark? What?
Yeah, we don't know anything about it, do we?
Is there any DDOcast news? What's going on with that? I don't know it. I'm not sure what we're supposed to say. So there you have it. DDOcast news is that Patrick is out this week. We already talked about where he was. He's on the mountaintop meditating.
So, just so you guys who are listening, Patrick gives us this show note thing with headlines and a bunch of empty space, and some of these we don't know what he's wants us to
we're
say.
like, I don't know what we're supposed to say there, so let's just skip it. It's fine. And he runs a group called DDOCast. I think they run every
Tuesday?
Yeah, they run every
But I don't
Tuesday.
know what time. You used to be in that, right?
Yeah, I was in that for a long time, but I started school, so I had to quit that and many other things. So I don't know how he's revamped the group now. I know he has a new group and he's running it, so check that out right here on the twitch.tv/DDOcast.
Tech13 says, make it up as you go along like he does.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he does.
He's pretty
I
good
think
at
he
that.
has everything planned out.
Yeah, when his show notes are all filled out when I'm on there. And I
Why
look at 'em.
why is 7D2D sitting by general
says-
game news?
It says general gaming news, right?
Oh, right.
It doesn't mean DDO news. General gaming.
Okay. I had a pretty good Fantasy Grounds session today.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
What character are you playing now?
I'm playing a sorcerer in that game.
Really?
Yeah.
And how do you like your sorcerer?
I actually, everybody else complains that I don't have Fireball. So
What level are you?
I'm level 5, and all I do is throw cantrips. And then today, instead of attacking, I ran over to the rogue and I cast light on his shoes, so that he would walk around with glowing shoes.
You're terrible. How's he going to sneak and do anything?
Hey, in my defense, he was acting like a jerk too. So so there was no sneaking after that. Anyway, that's all the general gaming news I have.
All right, let's go on to our
Note
real
to self.
segment.
Yes.
Don't let Lessa be the sorcerer.
Yeah, Tech13 says you don't have Fireball. Isn't Fireball a level 6 spell?
I don't know. They complain to me. They complain to me all the time, and they say, "You know what would be great here? A Fireball." Because apparently I took something else besides Fireball.
I
You
really
don't
thought it
get
was...
much when they're that level. You could have,
Yeah,
you
I
could have
only
magic
have
missile.
so many spells, and I wanted to fly.
You picked Fly?
Yeah. I've used it. Come on, if you could fly, you would.
Yeah,
Sure.
you would.
That is true. All right, so what we're going to do is answer emails today. And we have a list that Patrick has collected throughout the years and has never answered.
Never
so we're
answered
going to
ever,
do it.
because he never answers his email ever for any reason. Oh wait,
Some
that's
of those
me.
questions had to have been like super old.
Yep. All right, so let's get started.
It's all right. We're gonna do it anyway.
Yep. So this one, we're going to... Anybody who knows the answer, just pop, or has an answer, just pop on and say what you think. So Craig on Kyber says, my PC has aged and now struggles to run smoothly, particularly in groups. Do you have any suggestions to tweak my performance until I can upgrade my hardware?
Well, your PC needs to be cleaned, so you need to pull it apart. You know where this is going, right, Myth? And you
Vacuum
need to
Oh, take it out.
take it outside, right? And
Hose it down.
hose it down, and then put it back together, and it'll run perfectly.
Yeah. That's what Lessa does every
That's what I do. Yeah.
couple of months.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Sometimes I put
She
it in the
just did
dishwasher.
that, didn't she?
Yeah. Sometimes
Yeah,
I put
she
it in the
did.
dishwasher just to shake things up.
Hers is working better than ever, too.
It is. It's so good.
Mhm.
But what does Saba do whenever she needs her PC to run smoothly?
Craig should go in and set all of his video settings down on the lower settings. That probably would
Yes.
help. This video card is probably
Yes.
struggling very, very much if it's really old.
Yeah, because this is a 10-year-old game, and you know, you should be able to run it. It should be fine. You should
Yeah,
be
but
able to turn your
Well,
graphics
it
down
takes
from
some.
high to low or very low.
If you have
even.
everything on ultra high, like I
Yoink.
do,
Right.
it's going to take a lot of processing power from your video card. I mean, it's going to just max it out, right? So
Mm-hmm.
do what Myth said and go in and put it on a low level. And if it works fine, move it up a bit, see how it works there for a while. If that works fine, move it up again. And then when you hit the one that it stops working well, move it down to where you know it does work.
Right. That's what I would do if I was him.
Yep. There we go.
Then I would,
All right.
then I'd save up and go buy a new video card.
There you go. That too. But see, we don't know what kind of equipment he has, so he might have great equipment. Age
Well, he said he
PC
doesn't,
is,
right?
but that's relative. You know, some people like to buy a new one every year.
Right.
So if he's gone 18 months without buying a new one, that's not really old. I mean, how long have we had our video cards now?
I just got a new
18
one.
months, right?
2 years,
We got them at Christmas
right?
in 2015, right?
Right.
Yeah, so not bad. All right,
Good video cards.
we do. We bought top of the line, the one below top of the line.
One below
at the
the
time.
very, very
Yeah.
best one, so it's really good.
And I know at that time I didn't upgrade my processor. I upgraded my video card. I had plenty of RAM to start with. And I got SSD cards and I put DDO on on a drive by
that's what I did
itself.
too.
You might also think about, well, make sure you don't have anything running in the background at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you
Yeah.
start your computer over again when you know you're going to play DDO if you're having these problems, and don't start anything else. So it's just turn on the computer, play DDO, and that way nothing is
And then when
running.
you get your new computer or build your own, it's a better idea. And then get you a little solid state drive and just put DDO on there by itself, like we did.
No more lag.
Right.
Ever.
Forget about lag.
Well, Saba never had lag to begin with, so she doesn't
No,
know
that was
Yeah.
me.
she doesn't know what we're talking about.
I now have lag for some reason. I blame it on
Me?
I don't know what.
Oh, your ISP.
Oh no, it's because this is another thing. Make sure your video card driver is updated.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a problem.
Oh, Tech 13 says he takes his apart and puts it in the dishwasher.
Oh, good for you.
And then the
See?
biggest thing that slows it down is a mechanical hard drive. Pre-caching is the cure. I'll disagree a little. It's your video card that slows it down more than the hard drive, but you want an SSD hard drive is the way to go. Dedicated.
And those have really come down in price too.
They have. You can get a nice one for under $100.
Mhm.
All right, number 2, Chaz on Wayfinder. Build a 12 Ranger 6 RD2 Rogue. Is there a way to make it more survivable? Can I change out RD Rogue but still maintain high Rogue skills?
This is a question for you.
Well, the answer is no. Only Artificer and Rogue. It depends on what you call a Rogue skill. If you want to disable device or open lock, you have to be an Artificer or a Rogue. At least one level to put points into that. If all you want is to be able to search and spot, you could be a Ranger or any other character class.
I do have an answer for is there a way to make it more survivable? You get into a group and you just don't do anything. You just stay in the back, stay out of trouble. Act like when there's a trap or something that to be gone through, just act like you're AFK. People will get impatient and run through it. It'll be fine.
For many of the traps in the game, if you look at the trap, you can figure out a way of getting
Mhm.
around it with minimal
Minimal
damage to you.
Yep.
Yeah. Tech 13 says Pike.
See? He agrees.
You guys are sharing a brain
I
today.
know, right?
You two are. Maybe she is Tech 13.
I am secretly. Secretly am.
And to make it more survivable, gear. Get the best
Yeah.
gear you can. All right, Fuzzy Duck. 81 on Thalanis wants to know, what is your favorite odd non-standard build? Mythery.
I don't have an odd non-standard build. I'm sorry. I don't.
What do you call an odd non-standard build?
I don't know. I tend to make pure class
Sorcerers?
stuff. Yeah, sorcerers. Wizards. I used to play fighter a long time ago. Long time ago.
And was it pure?
All fighter, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a pure fighter. Tech 13 says Clarificer.
Clarificer. That sounds
Wow.
odd. That is an odd one.
That sounds odd.
The only one I can think of for me is a dandy tank, so the sort of bard with fighter levels and one level of, I think it's favored soul. So
That's an old build.
yeah, that's an old build, but it was still fun.
Right? You know, my thrower that I have, I've had that for years and years and years before everybody started getting throwers. And I didn't even tell my guildmates that I had one. I used to go out and pug with her or solo because I knew I would get mocked. And the first time I did play with Martel and Zazo, you should have heard Martel. He was just mocking me all over. And then they started getting popular. I don't have a favorite odd non-standard build. I just play what I want to play at whatever time. Oh, Tech 13 says the Cleric Officer is super fun. So if anybody likes Cleric and Artificer, they should give it a go. 18 Cleric, 2 Artificer for trapping and rune arm use. Max intel. Split the rest between con and wisdom.
Let's get Rent to make one.
Yeah, Rent.
Yeah, he loves his
pretty good at that.
Bartificer, so
Yeah.
maybe Cleric
Yeah.
Officer. All right, Rent, you have homework. All right, the next one is a tough one for me. Griglock on Kyber. Top 5 best and worst changes ever implemented in DDO.
I can only think of one that was what I feel one of the best. And
Okay.
it has to do with the paladins. And then when they changed Holy Sword. I thought that was the best thing ever. Because you remember, well, I don't know if you remember or not, but back in the old days of paladins, you used to... Holy Sword was a spell that people didn't really use because you had to have spell components. Like, you had to sort of go to the spell component dealer or whatever, and you had to get whatever sword you were looking for, and then you would cast it whenever you got in the quest, and then it would disappear when you left. And I think it ended up being like a +5 holy burst, whatever you wanted to use it as. So it was just a really awkward spell, and I was so glad whenever they changed it and they made it awesome. So
Do you have anything, Beth?
Like, what kind of changes though? So, because I think like when they added the place in the shared bank where you can put all the
Great change.
collectibles,
that's a
Like
that
great
was
change.
awesome. Yeah.
That's too.
Especially when you just click on your bag and move it over there and it takes everything out that it can take out and then gives you that message saying, no, you can't put bound to character items in there. And
actually, the shared bank was a great change.
yeah, I think so too.
That's 3.
You know, one thing, I don't think it's a worse change, but one thing I miss is when I played Galadriel a lot. She's my necromancer. There was somebody over in House J, and I don't remember the guy's name. It was somebody that you could trade collectibles or talk to about things. If you said a certain thing, if you were a necromancer, he changed into somebody else, and you can get special necromancer only things from this guy. Well, they changed that where you can't do it anymore.
Oh yeah, that's kind of sad.
Yep. I think it's cool. It would be cool if each class had something specific that only their class
Special.
could do. You know, like it's
Why
really
would they
convenient
change
for.
that?
I don't know, but it's really convenient for all my characters to be able to go to the portable hole. But I don't think my rogue should be able to go to the portable hole.
Right.
But I can because I have the spell.
Teleportation scrolls.
Yeah, exactly. I think there should be class-specific things.
I agree.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
It's an exclusive
All right.
club. Not everybody should be able to get in.
Exactly.
Was that 5?
No, not even close.
Because
No.
I think I can add one more on the
Okay.
worst category.
I know one, but I don't think I should say it.
Remember when remember the shadow walking bug? Like you could get into sneak mode. You could equip any ranged weapon. You could get into sneak mode, and then you could like hit your run key or whatever, or you could dance. Basically, you would be walking around in sneak, or you could be sliding around. It was really cool, and they fixed that, and I was really sad when they fixed that. So that was one of the worst things. Shadow walking.
That's funny.
At least we called it shadow walking. I don't know if that's what everybody else called it.
So, what do you think about the prevalence of self-healing in the game? You know, like I like my rejuvenation cocoon, but it makes things so much easier.
It does. It makes you really don't need a cleric quite as much.
Right.
I'm sad that the clerics aren't needed like they used to be, but I like to be able to heal myself.
Yeah.
Because
So
there's not almost all my characters. Now, admittedly, I have mostly rogues. Twist that in when they're in epics.
Right. But like my sorcerers can all use heal scrolls.
Right. My rogues can as well, but it's much easier just to hit cocoon.
Right. But, I mean, before they get that big, they can use heal scrolls.
Right. All right. Sort on Argo has 2 questions. What wipe do you least regret and why? That's the first one.
I want to hear your guys because I have a good one that doesn't involve you. Because we've had many wipes together. So many.
Yeah, but
some in
we have.
some out.
I don't regret.
I know. I don't think Myth
Well,
regrets
I
any
regret
of them.
some of them, but the ones that I don't regret are the ones that we gave our darndest,
Yeah,
and
we just really tried.
we had a lot of. There are some times that you have a party wipe and you go, "That was fantastic,"
Yes.
right?
It was fun.
Yes, there's
Yes.
no shame in it. Absolutely. I think my
As long as it was fun.
yeah.
Okay, the one I regret the most is when we were doing the Reaver in permadeath,
Did we
and
explode?
I died. No, yeah,
Yeah, we
I did.
exploded because we couldn't figure
Yeah.
out we couldn't figure out
Because-
the game.
No, we didn't even get to the puzzle part.
Oh my gosh.
We exploded, but we didn't get there.
Oh my gosh.
We hadn't killed the Reaver yet because people were dying, and that was it. Yep.
The one I most regret is soloing and spending a really long time getting through a quest and not being able to finish.
It
Right.
was just one?
Technically, that's a party wipe. I mean, if you're the only one.
If
No,
you're
I
the-
don't-
If you're the
I
only one
don't
in
think-
there.
If you can't finish, because like I told you guys yesterday, Martel Zazo and I were doing Legendary Elite Tempest Spine. We didn't party wipe, but we couldn't kill the guy because he went back to full health. So that's not really a party wipe. But we didn't finish.
I used to take Lexi and solo with her a lot, and there have been times when I'd be in a difficult quest, and so I'd spend a long time in there, and then I'd get to the end, and I just couldn't kill the last guy. It's very frustrating.
All right, so what's your answer, Lessa?
Well, the only time I ever played a dwarf, ever. What? No, that's not true. Maybe I don't know if I've rolled another dwarf since then. Maybe I was just the experience just could not ever be duplicated. She was a dwarven paladin, and she was around level 16, and I was doing Giant Hold Tour on Elite in the Sublime Permadeath Guild, and we got to the Blue Dragon, and guess what happened? we 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 all got electrocuted to death, and then we all
Oh.
there was people were we tried to salvage it so that we could leave, and it came down to either I'm gonna try to get out of here and save myself as the one of the last two people alive, or I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna try to raise some people. So I threw someone a raise. They took it. They died immediately, and then I died, and it sucked because I
Of course,
really
that's
liked
not-
that character.
This, this is not the question. It's the least.
Oh, this not. I don't know if. Yeah, but I miss her, and I didn't want to make her again. I almost
Yeah.
never go back, unless it's my main paladin. I never go back. I don't go back. We
To me, that dragon is the worst. I've died in there more than any
so
of
many times, so many.
That's the one where there are a bunch of gold piles
There's
and
gold piles, there's
Mhm.
electricity all over
it's
the
really
room.
yeah, I rarely die in that one. I
That's
guess
because
because
you're
I'm
a rogue.
play rogues. Yeah. All right, and Sort also wants to know what's your favorite speed route between locations, which locations, and why? What are the ones every new player who maybe doesn't have access to a guild ship should know, other than find themselves a guild ship? A guild. Myth has an answer for this.
Oh my God! Why do you say that? I said
I
I
thought,
should know an answer for this
oh, I thought you asked me to include
because
this
I
because you had
used
an
to.
answer.
No, I said I ought to know, but because I used to be lost so much when I first started playing this game because this world just seemed so enormous to me, and I felt like I was always trying to figure out where I was going. I'd join a group and they'd go, "Okay, we're gonna do blah blah blah," and I go, "Where are you?" And they'd tell me, and I was like freaking out because I really wasn't sure where they were. And they would tell me, "Oh, I'm in house blah blah blah," and I go, "Okay," and then I try to find where's house blah blah blah. But I guess if you're going to a house, you can shortcut right through the middle of the marketplace to get to the houses. And from the harbor, all the houses are pretty much on the left, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure about speed routes. I'm not sure I have any favorite ones. Lessa?
Favorite speed routes without using a ship. Let's see. From any of the houses, if you're not in the marketplace, from any of the houses, you can go to the teleporter and send yourself to the inspired quarter if you want to get to the harbor really quickly. Because all you have to do is
Right.
the teleporter right out is literally right inside the door of the inspired quarter. Let's see. If you want to get to the marketplace really quickly, you can go to Vaughn 3, not Vaughn 3, you can go to the Vault of Night, and you can jump off of Vela's platform, and then you'll eventually land in the marketplace. That's pretty fast.
That's a long way to. That's not fast. You have to do 4 quests in the part 1 of Vaughn.
Come
Get to that
on.
point.
Okay, new guy.
Okay,
do
new
these
guy.
4 quests, and then this raid, and then jump off
and then
the
jump off.
side.
Don't even do the raid. Just jump off the side, and you'll eventually end up in the marketplace.
All right. Tech 13, who is less in disguise, says Hall of Heroes and Teleporter are your friend.
I forgot there was a teleporter.
Teleporters all over the place.
Yeah, man, they're everywhere now.
Alrighty, Fuzzy Duck 81 on Atlantis. Not counting in-game sounds, what do you listen to when playing? For me,
Lessa.
yeah, mostly Lessa and
Mostly,
Mystery.
she listens to us.
Or whoever on, Martel and Zazo invent. I don't listen to in-game sounds too much unless I'm soloing, and then I usually have Netflix on or the Phillies game.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say. But I bet you it's Netflix. What about you, man? If you're soloing, what do you...
TV.
TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same, but it's usually YouTube and getting caught up on
See,
this or
YouTube, you
that.
should not run that while you're playing the
Right, you
game.
just gotta turn your settings down, man. It's fine.
Lag, lag.
It's fine. I told you I took my computer apart. I took it to the backyard. I rinsed it out. It's clean operating now.
All right.
Or
I would
I'll listen
still
to
like to be able
audiobooks. I
to
like that too.
have dual channels where I can listen to one thing in one ear and something else in the other ear.
Ooh, that's hot.
Yeah, I mean, I had that back in the 80s. Why can't I find it now?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
All right. Intrepid Bear on Sarlona. What are your favorite items to craft? This sounds like a Lessa question.
It does sound like a
Okay.
Lessa thing. My favorite are probably going to be the ones from House Caneth. But those don't really count as crafting unless you take them to the 3rd tier, which I like to do if I'm going to bother to give that character the if I'm going to trick it all the way out, like if I'm going to take him to level 20. Is I think what I'm trying
Right.
to say. If I'm going to take him to level 20, then I don't mind doing the extra work to upgrade it 3 times, and then in the heroic stuff, you get a crafting slot. Let me go over there. So you can craft on it, but you have to be super careful because it raises the level of whatever you're
Right.
trying to do.
Well, back before the changes to Kenneth crafting, I used to like to do all the ability scores, right?
Mhm.
And then my search spot disabled device, not open lock so much. With the changes to Kenneth crafting, you can have all of that, not all the ability scores on one, but I can craft a whole bunch of things on one item. So it's kind of tough to say my favorite because I just craft everything I need throughout all the different things that I'm wearing and get everything out of it. The new crafting system for Kenneth crafting is really cool. I like it a lot. But when I read this question, my first thought was Evening Star challenge gear. I like
Oh.
the weapons or the throwing weapons that Karen, my thrower, has.
Mhm.
Get some really good bonuses when you make shurikens, throwing weapons through
Mhm. Because
Evening Star.
they have hidden things on them that you have to sort of figure out. The returners, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep. Tech 13 has a good suggestion. Save all your silver weapon blanks with red slots and all your adamantine bludgeon weapon blanks with red slots.
Mhm.
I have backpacks full of gear with slots.
Mhm.
Some
Mhm.
yellow,
And if it
some
has a special metal
green.
property, it's even better.
I have all kinds of gear though. Rings,
Yeah.
robes, goggles.
Anytime, especially if you have like a double slot, it's even better. Save it.
We're going to
You can craft on it.
save that for a bit. Tech 13, we're going to ask that question later. All right, Muck on Sarlona, and I did not know Muck was able to ask questions. What classes might you be hesitant to consider in your pug group for difficult heroic quests in general, and why?
Rogues and sorcerers. I hate playing with them.
You're not funny. How can you laugh with Marie? She's not funny.
What? There
That's
is no
awful
class.
thing to say
that-
because I've heard that before and it wasn't even a joke.
Really? Oh, that's terrible. You
Well,
should be able to play with every class.
Yeah.
You're right. When I put up an LFM or Zazo Martel put up an LFM, we take whoever comes along. It doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
there are none that we would discriminate against. Oh, sorry. There are none that we would be hesitant to consider.
Right.
Mhm.
Even for raids. first
Don't hate the
Once-
class, hate the player. Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
no.
Wait a minute.
Okay, Patrick, delete that, please.
Hate the player. Myth. Tell it like it is. Serve it. DDO realness.
All right, Ronaldo on Atlantis wants to know, among those who play and enjoy challenges, what is your favorite challenge and why?
This sounds like a question for Alessa.
Yes.
That's me. My favorite challenge is Dr. Rushmore's Mansion. Hands down.
I don't get it.
I love Dr. Rushmore's Mansion, moving targets
Amazing.
specifically. Because you can do the others, but moving targets is better because the bosses move around and it's never really the same quest twice in a row. You're in the same map, you're going to the same places, but the situation changes and you have to adapt to whatever randomness is happening. And you just, different things happen. Sometimes things go pear-shaped.
When those challenges first came out and everybody was doing them, I went in the stupid Dr. Rushmores in several groups, and by the end of leaving that, people were
Rage quitting?
legit angry with each other. Yes, they were angry, and it was just that challenge.
Really?
Dr. Rushmore. Yeah, people were pissed off at each other, seriously.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I'm staying out of there. I just
Well,
didn't
if you
do
want to
it.
know how to do Dr. Rushmore's Mansion moving targets effectively, I can give you a link to an awesome instructional video by a friend of mine that she went in here and, she showed you how to do it really easily. How to kill all 5 bosses plus the mother of the nest and, maximize your ingredients. Totally plugging my own instructional channel.
Plugging your own videos. Les has videos for them all.
Yes.
Tech 13 prefers the Evening Star challenges.
I like those.
I like those, but yeah, I like them too.
I like the 3 ones.
Really?
Yeah.
You just stand there and kill.
And I used to like those ones with the out on the beach, with those machines that you start up but you used to could make the thing invisible. Now you
Talking
can't.
about Cobalt Island?
Cobalt
Yeah,
Island,
yeah,
Cobalt
that.
Chaos.
I like that, but now that you can't make them invisible, it's not as much fun.
Oh, Tech 13 says you should put your challenge videos on the wiki.
Oh,
A link to the YouTube.
That's a good idea.
that is a good
It's
idea.
a good idea.
Yeah. If only there was someone who could show me how to edit the wiki. If only there was a show about that, about DDO
On
wiki.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now I'm teasing Technical 13 because he does the wiki show.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, he does.
So
told you,
Lessa
it's great.
does the wiki.
Yeah.
All right, so Tech 13 responded to this question before about crafting. This is from Cyber Glammy on Sarlona. You're going to craft 1 heroic shroud item for playing today's game. What do you craft? And I agree with Tech 13 that I would do a triple negative green steel item or weapon.
Really?
Yeah, well, I would do triple positive to get the raised dead. Yeah, I have it on all my rogues. What would you craft?
I'm a sucker for anything that will make lightning come down from the sky. I think
Yeah, those are nice.
is it called call lightning? I have one of my paladins has a ring.
Lightning
that
strike.
Get out of Stormhorns. It's called Thunderstruck. So, but I know. Yes, you're right, Myth. It's lightning strike.
So you prefer that over a raised dead clicky?
Yeah, because lightning. Hello. What's wrong with you? Anybody can just raise the dead.
Lexi has that on her Kopeshes.
Yep. It's just cool effect watching lightning come from the sky.
It goes off quite often too.
Yeah, exactly. It procs more than you think.
Okay. Well, I usually have better weapons, that I wouldn't do that kind of weapon. Or is this an item you guys are talking about? Something that you wear?
No.
No, I was talking about a weapon, but
Okay. Yeah,
lightning strike guard would be cool too.
most of my weapons are named weapons, or Evening Star crafting, or what is it? Thunderhome crafting. All right. Saxon on Kenneth. No, Turglyph on Orion wants to know, how do newer players get help online in DDO? That's a good question. There is a new player forum section on the DDO forums. Go to DDO Wiki. Tons of great information there. Listen to or watch DDO Players News, because they don't talk about DDO from a how do I put this? Expert? No, that's wrong. That's bad. Point of view is what I'm thinking of here, guys. They talk about DDO from not a casual point of view, but not somebody who crunches all the numbers to get the best weapons and the best gear. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any other resources?
I do. I have seen questions get answered to new players successfully in the advice channel. Right in the game.
In the game?
In the advice channel, and I've seen players get their questions answered successfully in general chat. People just confused and they just type random questions, and our players...
And they don't get trolled?
No, our players are really good about helping other people, shockingly enough. And patient.
Is there...
I've been in
So the advice channel is the chat channel dedicated to
it's dedicated to giving advice, yeah.
And how do you get on that?
I think in general, on your general chat tab, I think you are automatically entered into it.
Okay.
Or you should be able to see it. Or you can just type /advice. And you should be able to type in it.
Okay.
Let's try it.
Do you have anything, Myth?
No.
No, we already said everything you were thinking of, didn't we? All right, yes. Then Myth goes first in this next question. What? Saxon on Kenneth, should questing raids have to have 12 players, or could the number need to be reduced to make them more accessible?
I am all for going in those raids with less than 12 players. We do it all the time.
So your answer is you don't need 12.
Why wait?
You don't need 12 players.
You can go in right now.
There's no rule that says you have to have 12 players. So
it's just they up the max to 12 players, that's all.
Yeah, that's the most you can take, not the least.
All right. Caldulara on Argo, how often does DDO burnout happen to you?
I get it about once every 6 months.
And what do you do?
I just don't play as often. Just or stop playing, take a little break.
Well, I know we do the Damsels every other week, no matter what.
Yeah.
But there are times that's I might go 2 weeks without playing.
Yep.
Damsels is always fun, so.
Yeah, you gotta try something different, you know.
And I don't think Miss played anything except for the Damsels in the last 2 weeks because she's playing some other game. That's how she does it.
What game is that, I wonder?
No, I can't remember.
I don't know. 7 days. Anyway.
and they have really nice people on their forums. It's amazing. I couldn't believe it.
You were used to this environment.
Honestly, I don't go to the forums here because they're so mean. I get so upset, so I just don't read them. And I wait for Saba to tell me what's on the forums, honestly. And I wanted to learn about this game, so I went and read the forums, and I was shocked. Those people were so nice, and there were some of the stupidest things on there, and nobody ragged on them. I couldn't believe it. It's like, wow, these people are really nice.
She's talking about the other game. There are some nice people on the DDO forums.
Yeah.
They're not all not nice, and you get some really good advice on the forums as well.
I've seen some people in my various pug groups who have been extremely helpful to newer, inexperienced players. And patient. Not just helpful, but patient.
Right. Right.
So, I was
Yep.
really impressed. So, good on you, whoever you are.
Oh,
out there.
Tech13 says he's been on worse forums than DDOs. I don't want to read
I
those.
don't
I
want
don't
to
want to
see
go
'em.
there.
Mm-mm.
All right. Millhouse from Kenneth wants to know, what class do you least like to play and why?
I have an answer for this one.
Go.
It's Monk. I've never played it.
Well, no. The question is, what class do you least like to play?
Yeah,
If you've never
I'd
played
least
it,
like to play
if
it,
you've never
so-
played it, it can't be your answer. It's got to be something that
Oh.
you've tried that you don't like.
Okay, then Wizard.
Why?
Yeah, that's my least.
Yeah, I just.
All right. Why?
It was sort of limiting. I didn't have as many spell points. I
Mhm.
felt like I couldn't do as much. Even though you have access to more spells, you can only memorize so many, and you don't have. It just. I don't know. It seemed like the sorcerers were more powerful.
Mhm.
So.
So it's all
That's how
about the
I felt
power
too.
with you two,
Yeah,
huh?
I guess so.
Not the versatility.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, with Galadriel, I used to go into epics and hold monsters and everything, and I didn't do a lot of damage, but it helped the other people.
Ah, so you were a support character.
Yeah,
Misery holds monsters.
She does.
I think Mithri needs to do it more often.
She holds them and loves them and squeezes them.
Yeah, that's it.
Mhm.
Calls them George.
And then she
Tech
throws smile
13
barrels at
doesn't
them.
like Monk, and says I can't stand playing Monk. So that is the last comment I'm going to read from Tech 13 today.
Well, what about you? What's your answer?
Second worst
Well,
would be
look,
Sork for
now
Tech
he's in
13.
big trouble. Probably the third worst is Paladin.
Oh no! If he says Paladin, ban him from the chat room.
Actually, I thought the Bard was boring. No, yeah. I didn't like it. Warlock is just too
I had
simple.
fun when we had all those bards on our permadeath.
That's
group, so-
different.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was different though. I don't know what my least would. I don't like playing cleric because I feel it a lot of responsibility.
Pressure.
Yeah, exactly.
I liked playing my cleric, but not anymore.
I like watching Rentapone play a cleric because he stresses out.
We used to
Cleric
double.
off duty!
We used
Cleric off
do
duty!
raids together. Rent and I would do raids and heal, and we had a lot of fun. That was a long time ago.
Oh, this definitely, Tech 13 definitely is less of because, well, I don't think Paladins are particularly new player friendly. They're not bad for seasoned players. All right,
It's
Chris.
rigged.
Chris on Kyber wants to know, any chance on better looking armor, robes in particular?
That is
This
an
sounds
awesome
like a
question.
That is a
mystery question.
great question. What do you think, Myth?
This is a great question. I hope so. Since I have found all of the pretty robes in the game, I have to say that they need some better looking robes in this game. Because they're just marginally pretty.
Yeah.
And it would be great if we could just dye them ourselves. Let us
Yes.
do that, and then we'll stop fussing about it.
Yeah.
Just make a few designs and then let
Mhm.
us dye them ourselves,
Mhm.
and have the option to like dye the trim separately from the
Mhm.
main
Mhm.
body area, and maybe dye the top different from the bottom, stuff like that.
Preach.
Now, I know you guys are saying you will definitely spend DDO points on this, right?
Yes, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would also like if this could be a reward. This could be, something that you earn.
Mhm.
Something that you
That would be
unlock
great.
by doing this or that or the other thing. The ability to dye something.
Okay.
I would earn it.
Yeah, absolutely.
See, I couldn't care, but
There is
you
another
do,
there is
obviously.
another game that shall not be named that allows me to change
That's
the color of my
right.
clothing, and as I level up and get different rewards, I'm earning dye, different colored dye
Yeah,
that I have
different color
access
dye.
to. I can sit there for 10 or 15 minutes just dyeing my clothes.
And I have awesome
I have
clothes in that game.
simple needs. Yes. So if we had that ability, that would be awesome. Just saying.
See, I'm not
Okay.
the only one that thinks this, guys. See, other person asked.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people have asked for stuff like that on the forums already.
Yeah, people kept asking for little tiny Eritricos, and then look what happened. We got him one day.
Oh, okay.
Well, what they really wanted was a plush toy. So they
That
gave
would
us
be
the
cool.
next best thing.
That would be
I know,
cool.
right?
All right, I think this is another Mythery question. Beto and Kyber said, in the game's option is a user skin option. Has anyone ever made skins for the UI ever?
Answer is yes.
Yes.
Many moons ago, there were UI skins that you could download, and I used some of them. I don't know if they're out there
I didn't know
anymore
there
or
were
not.
downloadable skins. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know that when Clankenbeard was playing, he made his own UI skin.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
No, I downloaded a few, picked one I liked, which was Fade to Black or something like that. And I liked it a lot, and I used it, and, then I had another computer, and I don't know, it went away eventually.
All right. Next one, Lexi on Sarlona. How is zerging through the same quest raid over and over again fun? To elaborate, I mean, how is rushing through dungeons fun?
Yeah, Saba, how is it fun?
Yeah, how is that fun?
I don't know what you're talking about. See, you guys think I'm rushing through or zerging through things, right? But while I do that, I have other goals in mind, like can I get through it with fewer kills than I did before, or more kills? Max out my kills, or
no kills at all. Or...
Exactly. So it's not just zerging through; it's with a purpose.
So she's explaining they're thinking about things while they're doing that. They're thinking about other things.
Yes. And I rarely do it over and over and over on the same day.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily true, but
yeah, I usually only zerg
it depends
with
if I have a goal or not.
Yeah.
If I want to get a certain thing out of that quest, and I know by doing that quest that's the only way I'm going to get this thing, then I might do it many times in a row.
Yeah, but I know that you have done Bonds 3 many times in one day.
So Tech 13 has the same idea as me. Can I beat my record time? Speed runs are fun. So that's another thing. I mean, I can get through Bonds 3 in, say, 8 minutes. Can I get it down to 7? Right?
Yep. I don't know, 8 minutes is pretty good.
Well, so it's not just running them over and over again.
He says you can still get the skins.
Yeah, the last time I saw somebody talking about a skin was, what, last year?
Lotro interface.
Oh yeah, Lotro interface DDO complete sets, and there are a dozen skins or so.
There you go.
So try that. It's lotrointerface.com, and just go to the DDO complete set section. All right, Roger on Galanda wants to know, what was your funniest DDO moment? Funniest is tough.
Yeah, that is tough.
That's
there
a
have
lesser
been
question.
so many.
There have been tons of funny things.
Gosh.
Okay, I'm thinking of other games.
No, I'm
funny.
thinking about the time that we were in Chains of Flame and Rent fell off into the lava. But I can't remember.
How about a new evasion when we were all wolves and we got to the last fight, dropping down, and we didn't know it was going to the last
that
fight.
Was awesome.
And Rent is trying to claw his way back up.
Like, back up, abort.
All these little feet.
All those little feet,
cluck.
Yeah, it was futile. That was amazing. That was a great day. Hey, that one is on the DDO Twitch stream, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. We have to figure out
which... We did it with the wolf pack.
We did it. It was a wolf pack day. We have to figure out which episode it is so that we can link it.
How about you, Myth? What do you think?
Every day is a funny day
It
in a
is.
game for Myth.
Mm-hmm. Is
She's having fun all the day, all the time.
I know.
All right, then on to the next one. Frigley on Wayfinder. Can you think of a kind of quest like capture the flag, kill the boss, save this person, etc., which DDO does not have? And I have to tell you, Frigley, DDO has those three that you asked about. There is capture the flag, there is kill the boss, and there is save
Yep.
this person.
All the time.
That's why I said, how long ago were these questions asked?
Or something that they don't have yet.
Oh,
A
he's on
scenario.
Wayfinder, so not that long
Yeah.
ago, I guess.
A scenario that is there a scenario that hasn't been done yet?
Or maybe he doesn't know that we've captured the flag,
Well, that's a PvP thing,
Mm-hmm.
right?
so you have to go to a separate section, not an actual
Right.
DDO quest. If you have a, we used to do that in our guild way back when, and that was pretty
It was
fun.
fun.
That was I wouldn't do regular PvP. You know, like if we go into one of the taverns, the only reason we do PvP is to test some equipment out,
Right.
because I don't like beating up on
Like,
Myth or Lessa.
come in the bar and let me beat you up with my new sword. Okay.
I say that all the time. Come on, help me experiment with this sword. No, be honest. This is for posterity.
Try this
Tell
new
me
spell
how this
out on
makes you feel.
Ow, ow.
Yep.
But is there some kind of quest TDO doesn't have yet?
Let's see. I'm tired of rescuing damsels in distress. I think we should flip that script.
I don't want to rescue anybody.
You don't want to rescue anybody? Okay.
No.
Oh, wait, what about, saving, what about some humanitarian stuff? I mean, there's one where you have to go in and save children. What about saving animals or something? Oh, wait, we have that already.
Yeah, and we have save the slaves, and then we
Dust.
leave half of them there because we saved the
Exactly.
quota.
Like, we're saved the quota, so the rest of you guys are screwed.
Well, I don't want any more escort ones.
Yeah, I don't like
escort.
those.
Well, there's that one on the high road, which is an escort one, but you don't have to worry about him dying. You just have to get him to the.
Right. He's
Which
pretty hard.
that kind is okay with me. But where you have to worry about somebody dying, no.
Mhm.
How many times have you done what is it? Ritual sacrifice.
Yes. Oh my
And
goodness.
that guy gets. You're right at the end, and he steps in that
Mhm.
fog, and that's the end of that. And you can still get your stone out of the chest, but you don't get credit for doing the quest.
Right.
Um,
It's nice
kind
of
of
him to let you get the
quest.
stone.
It is. Kind of. I can't think of any quests, really. Kind of quests. I just hope they do a lot more modules. I really enjoy the modules that they do. Ravenloft is coming up.
Right.
All right. Rob on Sarlona. Why are the functions of the various game cookies always changing? And how can players get compensating for buying cookies?
Huh?
But for their use arbitrarily changes and are now effectively worthless. Stop this insanity and or shoot whoever is screwing me out of millions of plat.
Oh, so I was
Well,
gonna say, why are you
here's
spending
the
money
thing.
on
You're not
cookies?
supposed to buy the cookies.
Yeah.
You're supposed to get the cookies for free from the jester for the coins that you find in the chest.
Mm-hmm.
If you're buying cookies, that's on you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Millions of plat on cookies.
Millions of plat.
Right.
Millions. Where is this guy so I
But
can
why
sell him
do
my
they
cookies?
keep changing them? Because I had some junk cookies that I had saved up, and they aren't junk cookies anymore.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
So it depends on which way they're going.
I remember when those Eternal Day jelly cakes used to raise the dead.
Mm-hmm. They don't do that
There
anymore.
was never a Saturday in PD.
Yeah.
DDO, I mean, Tech 13 would like to know that there is a page on the DDO wiki about the rewards that you get for turning in for festival cookies and cakes. Oh, one of your favorites there. Call Lightning Storm, Lissa.
Yay!
Stormweaver cookie.
Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't
Oh,
spend
yeah.
millions of plat on it.
Yeah, me
Unless I
neither.
had millions of plat to lose. It's a risk, Unless you're planning on using it for that year. You want to be compensated for your cookies? You, me, and the Girl Scouts, man. We're all looking for some compensation.
Um, Absolix on Thelanis wants to know, what would DDO be like if food and drink were required like pen and paper?
That would be great.
I
Because
was
then
just thinking about
every
that.
15 minutes, your character would be like, I'm hungry.
Oh, I'm so thirsty.
Drink water. And then we could die of starvation or we could die of dehydration, and it would be
thirst.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Or
can see
or you could
that.
drink toilet water. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. It's the wrong game. Wrong game.
Murky water.
Yeah.
So, I think it would be a pain in the butt.
Well, then you'd have to have, maybe the wizards could carry
You
that
have to be
spell,
able
create,
to
or the
hunt
cleric,
and cook food or
create
something.
water, create food. It's a cantrip, right? Create water?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, there you have it.
Yeah, that would make things really complicated.
Yeah, it would make things complicated. Let's do it. Let's do it.
No,
It
there
would
are too
create
many
lots
other
of-
things.
It would create lots of those bugs that we don't know about.
Yeah.
And then you keep dying because you can't
Mhm.
create your water.
Yep, that's right. It's your
All
own
right.
dang fault. You didn't pack right.
McGinster on Thelanis wants to know what to do about players who play just to be disruptive or attention-seeking. Put them on your friends list and don't join their groups.
Yeah.
So it's really an anti-friends list.
Yeah.
Well, if you have that problem, yeah. My
Yeah.
friends list is really a friends list because we're all in different guilds. I wouldn't know when you guys are on.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah, I used to have my friends list as when everybody that I played with was in the same guild was people that I didn't like how they played or how they spoke when they played, and Tech 13 says just to be disruptive equal troll. Yeah. Exactly.
You can just right-click on their names and you can ignore them. You don't
Squelch
see
them,
any
yeah.
of you can squelch them. You don't see any of their stuff ever. I've done that
Right.
before too.
Oh, he says simply report and or ignore. Right. All right, so
Yeah, you can get in trouble.
good. Selbad on Thelanis wants to know what would be the ideal 6-person party.
On a quest.
To get you from 1 to 30. We're going to expand on his question. So you have a static group. What would be your ideal
Let's
6-person static
you need,
group?
You need a tank, you need a caster, you need a rogue, you need some sort of healing, and then you can have somebody. You need some sort of ranged ability. Like maybe you
bards are
have a
best.
ranger or a bard.
I don't know. We've had in our permadeath group, we've played all different kinds of characters.
All different kinds of mix too.
Mixes. I mean, as you mentioned before, we had all bards at one time.
It depends on who you're playing with and what kind of player they are.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Myth.
Do how they play. What they're, because you can take anything and play it.
Right. Tech 13 says warlock, 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 and warlock.
There you go. We could do that.
That's the ideal party. Is 6 warlocks. There you go. You could just sail through life doing your thing.
I think the ideal party is 6 characters that people think is fun to play. Because I wouldn't want to do a warlock unless it was an entire warlock party. That would be fun. Right? But I wouldn't want to be the only warlock because I find them kind of, Not that they're not overpowered. They are. But 6 characters that people love to play, and they'll do really well. You can make anything work in this game. Oh, except for that GIMP experiment we tried. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, no.
Bad.
Don't, no, bad.
Bad idea.
Bad. Yeah.
All right, so our last question. Kirkos on Orion wants to know, should Evening Star have content to start a level 1 character?
No.
I think Korthos is
doing
what it needs to do.
Yeah.
And it should be what it is. And
Yeah.
no, Evening Star
It's
is
a
fine.
training ground for new
Yeah.
players. It should be separate. It should be simple. And by the time you learn to navigate that and you feel comfortable, then you know the very basics of the game that you need to know, and you can move into the harbor and on to bigger and better things.
All right, what about people who don't like Eberron but really like
The Forgotten Realms.
Forgotten Realms? Yeah.
That's not the
I'm
point.
very sorry.
You go
Well,
and you learn the basics on
But
Porthos
this
and
game
No,
originated
you could still
in Eberron.
you could still learn the basics on Korthos,
Mhm.
but wouldn't you like more? Well, it would bring more people in possibly if there were lower level quests over on in Evening Star.
So maybe reverse epic some, because you know how they take heroic quests and they'll kind of give them an epic makeover. Well, what if some of the quests that are in Evening Star, what if they sort of gave it a reverse low level makeover? Like made it
Maybe.
into a level 4 or level 5 quest series that you could go into. But then you'd still have to run through like the King's Forest or whatever.
Right.
That would be hilarious.
that
All
would
right.
be hilarious.
Tech 13 said Evening Star was never a starter area in PnP. And if you really want to start there, roll up an Iconic and start in
Mhm.
Forgotten Realms.
Yep.
I like that attitude, actually.
Yep.
Can everybody roll up Iconics? You have to buy them, right?
Yeah, I think so. I
Yeah.
think you have to buy them.
All right.
It's
That is our
special.
last question.
Okay. Well, do you guys have anything to add before I move on to these awesome closing show notes? I don't think we do. I think we covered most everything.
Yep.
Thanks to Patrick for letting us host the show. And by saying that, what I really mean is thanks for asking us if we wanted to host the show.
Right?
So thanks to everyone who listens to the show, current DDOcast contributors, Standing Stone Games, and Wizards of the Coast. And of course, Cyber Ears. If you want to support the show, you can visit our website at DDOcast.com, or you can support us on Patreon. What? There's a Patreon page for the DDOcast. Now I've seen everything.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hit us up at DDOcast.com for show notes, MP3s, our calendar, previous shows, swag, and other fun stuff. You want to be part of the show, have a comment on the episode, have a question you'd like to hear us answer, or a topic you want us to debate. Patrick does awesome debates. Or you just want to say hi, leave a comment or email us at ddocast@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media and follow us for the latest cast updates. Closing tip. What is a closing tip? There's nothing here.
No.
What is it?
La 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 la.
The closing tip.
Closing tip is they don't sing any better now than they did at the beginning.
The closing tip is close your ears because Myth and I are about to sing. Okay, so until next time, may all your attack rolls be crits and all your chests level appropriate. Have fun and don't forget to gather for buffs. What is it?
Good night.
Bling. Thanks for joining us, guys. Good night.